Okay, so in this video we're going to put together our night's tent, and the top of this thing actually slopes a little bit, which is why we have the lid here separated into 6 pieces. It just wasn't possible to get this all as one piece. Sometimes that just makes life easier, but to get something unique like this, and it's got the variable colors as well, we have to do a little extra work, but it's not too bad. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually join the bottoms of this together to create one piece, and you want to go ahead and make sure that you are alternating your colors here. So whatever colors you end up using, just make sure that you're connecting these bottom pieces in an alternating fashion. Okay, and it can help to lay this on top of the other piece here to make sure that you've got it lined up properly as far as that bottom little tab goes. Okay, so now I'm going to move on over to a purple piece. Get glue on that bottom tab there and just get that right in place and just squeeze it for a second to get its initial hold, and then fold it on top of the other piece. Just make sure that it's sitting right on top there so that the little scallops are nice and matched up. And just hold that in place for a second while it dries, and then move on to the next little triangle here. And this time we're going to grab our pink piece, and it will help to kind of fold everything before we get too far along. Okay, just squeeze that and fold it over onto the other piece here just to make sure that we've got that aligned properly. Give it an extra squeeze there on the bottom. Okay, moving on here to the next piece, alternating colors. Going with the purple. Get that aligned. Squeeze, fold it over, make sure that that's nice and aligned there. Give that a good squeeze so it holds nicely. Okay, and last one here, alternating colors. And give that a squeeze, fold it over. It doesn't matter where the tabs are, as long as you can kind of look at the little scallops there at the bottom, and as long as they match up nicely, you know that we've got it in the right spot. Okay, so now we're just going to go up the line here and connect these pieces to their neighbors. I'm going to see if I can get all 4 in one shot here. May not be possible, but we're going to try. Okay, yeah, we should be able to. And again, just make sure that you're following that natural curve there. There's a little bit of a slope. It's not straight. Okay. Get that nice and aligned. Squeeze those tabs in place. All right, and then let's move on to the next section here. Can kind of move that out of the way while we apply our glue onto the tabs here. And again, this kind of slopes, so you might need to do a little bit of nudging here and there. There we go. And just squeeze that between your fingers, get that nice and aligned. There we go. Okay, moving right along. Get our glue on these tabs. And tuck that under. Line that up nicely. Doing a little bit of pushing in here to get that properly aligned. squeezing the paper here. Okay, so far so good. A few more to go. Okay, let's just move that out of the way. Get our glue on these tabs here. Okay, and get that aligned. Make sure you're following that little slope there. Right along the edge there. There we go. And just squeeze. Okay. And a couple more times and we'll be done with this. Let's get our glue on the tabs here. Okay. And just make sure that you're getting that slope correctly and accurately. There we go. That's good. And now we can go ahead and close this up and get our glue on these last sets of tabs here. This goes a lot quicker if you use less glue. You don't need to cake it on because that just requires more dry time. And we don't want to take more time up than we need putting this together. Okay, just squeeze that between your fingers and just make sure that you've got that correct alignment. That looks good. And all we need to do is just put a little bit of glue on this last little triangular tab there and connect that to its neighbor. Okay, so that is good. So we're all done there. Now what we want to do is get this little piece here, and before we glue this on top, we want to go ahead and put our little diamonds on here, and there's 6 of them. And again, we want to alternate the colors here. And there's little notches on this blue piece here to help you with the placement of these little diamonds. So just make sure that you're getting them into the correct little areas. And of course, again, you want to make sure that you are alternating these colors. Okay, so I'm putting the pink ones in an alternating fashion, and the other ones I believe I have purple. So we want to make sure that we put the purple ones in between there. Okay, let's get our next little piece here. Get that glued down. Just make sure you're getting it in between those little markers there. It's just going to help you make sure that this thing looks really pretty. And look what I did. I messed up. I put this in the wrong spot. I've been crafting since about 9 a.m. this morning, so probably making some mistakes here and there, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. And luckily, paper craft is very forgiving, unlike some things in life. Okay, so we're going to put that piece down and continue on here. Let me find my other pieces here. Got 2 more little purple ones to put down. We'll get that glued to the top of our tent. We have some other little decorative panels that are going to go on this piece as well. Okay. And we'll be done here in no time at all. Here we go. Get that nice and centered right in between those markers. Look how pretty that is. You could turn that into a little piece of art on its own there. Okay, so this is going to go right on top like so. And we want to alternate this so that the little purple diamonds are on the peach color, and then the peach diamonds are on the purple. So we can go ahead and get our glue on the back of this. Just get a nice amount, get it all the way out to the edge, all the way out to the tips, so that they don't come pulling up at all. Okay, and again, just make sure that you're putting the little purple diamond on the peach color there, and vice versa. Okay, that looks good. Just kind of run your fingers along the edge there. And just kind of caress that down, just making sure that it's all sitting nice and flush on the little tent here. Okay, so that is that. And then we have these little glitter pieces here that are going to go right along the bottom here. So they're just little overlays. We can go ahead and get our glue on this piece here and just drop that right in the center there. You want a nice little border going all the way around. Okay, and just moving on to the next piece. The base of this thing is going to be a little bit, actually a lot easier to construct. It should go a lot quicker than the top here. Okay, moving on to the next piece. So you get the idea as far as this piece goes. I don't need to show you this 6 times, so go ahead and finish that up. Get that nice and centered. Do the other 3, and then we'll move right on down to the main structure of this thing and get that put together. And we'll be done before you know it. Okay, so the top of our tent is done, and we can go ahead and work on the bottom of our structure and just get everything nice and folded. And we can actually put some of these panels down while this is flat. We have, this is the bottom here. We've got these little floor, I forget what they're called. I know what they're called, my brain is not working today. Get a little bit of glue on there, and we're just going to glue those right on there. There's little identifiers here, little notches to help you with the placement of these. Okay, just get a little bit of glue right on there. Just line them up with the little markers. Push down. Okay, this part will go together nice and quick. There we go. Get that right in place. Okay, and then we're going to have 2 little purple patterns here, panels. Okay, we're just going to glue those right to the sides here. I'm just going to alternate. Just make sure you get them nice and centered there, and that you're not encroaching over the bottom here. You want that to be nice and flush. Okay, kind of like that. Might actually help to put those on. Okay, that's fine. And then get our next purple piece here. Get that in place. Okay, just going to kind of fold this over just to make sure that that's nice and lined up. And it is. Okay. Then we have this one here. This is going to be a little curtain piece. And what we want to do is take this piece and glue it right like that. Okay, so there's also little identifiers on there that kind of help you with the placement of this piece. You want to get it lined up with those little identifiers, and that's just kind of creating the illusion of a curtain. Okay, just get that glued down, and then put some glue on the back of this. Okay, and get that glued down to the last little open area here. Okay, that looks good. All right, now what we can go ahead and do is connect these two sides together by putting glue on this tab here. Spread that out and just fold that right on top of itself. Now fold it over onto the seam where we put our glue. Make sure that it sits nice and flat. Push that down, get it to hold nicely. And then you can go ahead and put glue on these little tabs here so that we can close the bottom up. Okay, spread that out to the edge. And flare these up a little bit so that as we push this down, it grabs more of the surface of the tabs. Kind of nudge it around a little bit just to make sure that you've got it properly aligned, and just apply pressure all the way around. Okay. There we go. Just hold that down in place until it dries. And we can flip it over, push from the inside. Okay. And then just go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the inside. And we've got this little liner piece that's going to go inside to kind of reinforce this, make it a little bit stronger. Okay. Our lid should fit on there nicely, like so. I actually want that alternating colors. Okay, so that is pretty much done there. And all that's left to do is put our little flag on here. Okay, and I've got a toothpick. I've got a little pearl. Let me grab some of my craft glue. I had a bunch of it dry on me, which is okay, from a previous tutorial, and I didn't clean my brush off very well. I got to do that. But I'm just going to take and paint a toothpick white. If you already have some white toothpicks, that's great. Just going to paint that white, and we're going to put our pearl on top. These pearls that we have little holes in them already, so that makes easy work of this whole process here. Okay, let me put that off to the side and let that kind of dry for a minute while we take a look at our flag. This is the little flag here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take and just kind of wrap this around my dowel so that I don't crease it and make a, I don't want to fold it in half. I want it to kind of have a nice curve there at the end. And actually that's fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my toothpick. Now, you probably want to wait a little bit and let yours dry more. Put a little bit of glue at the tip of this, or some hot glue, and pop it into your little pearl. Okay, so we'll let that kind of dry a little bit more. And then the little tip here, you want that at the bottom. And we're just going to put glue on one side of this and get some glue in the center. And pop your toothpick in there, close that in on itself, and just squeeze right up here. Okay. And that glue should set and keep the toothpick in place. Okay, just like that. And then when we're done, put a little bit of hot glue on the toothpick itself and just pop it right inside of the tent. Okay, just like that. And your favor box is complete. And actually I would push this down a little bit more. I think that's a little bit too tall. There we go. And there is your cute little favor box. Now we're gonna jazz this up with a few little rhinestones here and there. I'm going to put some pearls here on the corners so it looks like there's something nice and fancy there holding the curtain open. But if you don't want to embellish it, you don't have to. It's super cute the way it is.